Showing you a Porsche Carrera GT, Ferraris, Lamborghinis, other exotic cars. Today I'm bringing you the exact opposite. This is a Trabant. It was a car made during communist rule in East Germany, and it is, quite simply, one of the all-time worst cars ever made. Come check it out with me. Now, before I show you around the Trabant, I have the owner here, Robert Dunn, who runs a YouTube channel that includes a lot of Trabant-related videos at Aging Wheels. And Robert's going to tell us a little bit about the Trabant. First off, what year is this vehicle?
It's a 1981.
1981. And what year did they start production?
1963 or 64.
Okay, and the design remained roughly the same throughout these years.
Yeah, the exterior design changed very little.
And what is the situation with the engine?
It's a two-stroke, two-cylinder, air-cooled, 26 horsepower engine.
26 horse. What is the 0 to 60 time of this vehicle?
Well, it doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist.
Flat and level ground, you won't do 60.
Flat level, you won't do 60.
No.
What do you do?
55 is the maximum I've gotten up to at flat and level ground. I haven't got up to 68 down a hill.
Okay, so the biggest question that everyone will have is, why did you purchase this automobile?
See, cars are kind of like an addiction. Some people will go with faster and faster things. I had to go with more weirder things.
I've come here to Washington, D.C. to hang out with Robert in the Trabant, but you're from St. Louis. Explain what you're doing on this side of the country.
There was a Trabant parade held by the International Spy Museum to celebrate the fall of the Berlin Wall. They also had a cardboard box wall that we crashed through a couple of times. Other things to celebrate fall of communism. What
do these things cost? If I wanted to go buy a Trabant, what would I have to pay for one?
Well, I mean, that varies a lot because there aren't very many in the United States.
Right.
I got this one for $3,000.
$3,000. Okay. Can we talk about the situation with the wall? So this car was made in East Germany.
Yeah.
And then as West German cars got better and they got more choices in vehicle and they got more technological advancements in vehicle, East Germany had this.
Yeah.
Until the wall fell?
Right. If you were a normal car, this is what you had. Maybe in a different color.
Right.
Maybe in slightly different trim options like reverse lights or something.
Reverse lights were a big feature in East Germany.
Exactly.
So the Ferrari F40 came out in 1988. This was still being sold new to people in East Germany. When you're driving it around, what do people say? Does anybody know what kind of car it is?
If they know that it's a Trabant, they usually come up with a different approach. They say, I haven't seen one of these since the wall fell.
Right.
Since I was in Poland.
Right. So there are people who you've met who are actually from the Soviet Empire. And do they think you're crazy for having one here in America?
Their first question is always, why do you have it?
Okay, so this is clearly one of the weirdest cars that I've featured, and now it's time to give you a little tour and show you exactly how the communists used to build cars. The easiest way to see how poorly this car is built is the panel gaps. None of them are consistent. And not only are they inconsistent on different panels, but some panel gaps are inconsistent on the same panel. Here's one that starts wide and then gets progressively narrower. One of my favorite things about this car, there is windshield washer fluid, but it is manually operated. You have to pull out this little plunger and then push. Pull out, push, and I'm washing the windshield. Speaking of the windshield wipers, this is their normal resting position, right in the way. One major luxury, there is a dimming mirror. It's not automatic and there's no button for it. To get to the dimming part, you simply twist the mirror around and then it's dimmer. Inside, there is no glove box, just sort of a hole with another hole on top of it. And on the other side, welcome to the fuses. And obviously some tools, because you can't really drive around in a Trabant without some tools. Let's talk about fuel. As was common when this car came out, you don't just put gas in, you have to put a mixture of gas and oil. It's a two-stroke motor. Now there's no fuel door. In order to actually put the oil-gas mixture in, you have to pop the hood and you stick it in right here. That sounds easy enough. Now the biggest problem is there's no gas gauge inside the car. Instead, you have the communist gas gauge, a fuel dipstick that you stick in, and that lets you know how much fuel you have remaining. My personal favorite ridiculous Trabant feature is the door locks. There's only one interior door lock. It is on the passenger side. Now the passenger door doesn't lock from the outside. However, the driver's door does not have an interior door lock, but it does have an exterior door lock. So you can lock the passenger door from the inside when you're in the car, or you can lock the driver door from the outside when you walk away from the car. But you can't lock the driver door from the inside of the car, and you can't lock the passenger door from the outside of the car. That's communism. Here's another crazy thing about the Trabant. The Trabant was never designed to have seat belts, although the factory did eventually add front seat belts as a courtesy to the front seat occupants. No such courtesy was given to the rear seat occupants, however. This car was never made for rear seat belts in East Germany. Think about that. We're talking about a 1981 automobile with rear seats and no rear seat belts. To start this car, the procedure is a little complicated. First, you have to turn on the fuel valve from Z to R. We're not sure what those things really mean. Then you have to shift it into gear. Now, the shift lever is a column shifter, and if you're not used to operating one, it's a little weird. Then finally, you can get going. Oh, and you have to remember to take off the parking brake.
Make sure it's not in gear. I tried to start it in gear.
Oh, it doesn't let you do that? Can't start it in gear.
Unfortunately.
That's nice. That's first, right?
Yeah.
Now I can't coast.
You can't coast in first, second, or third.
I have to be either on the pedal or
in neutral.
In neutral. Yeah. It's the dumbest thing I ever heard in my life. Here we go. We're going. There's a lot of smoke back there. It's tremendously loud. Okay, so now I'm in neutral.
Yeah.
Oh, the brakes.
Yeah.
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 Is fourth? Fourth is just straight up from here. This is fourth. I'm in fourth. Yeah. I did it.
That's
Woo!
freewheel. Let off the gas.
And now we can coast. We can coast like in any other automobile. Woo! Oh, the signal is on. The signal doesn't cancel. I gotta remember that.
It doesn't cancel.
The signal is on the whole time.
And you have no indicator inside because that's third.
That's third. That's first?
No. It's still third.
Is this first? No, this is third.
No, that's reverse. That's reverse. That's reverse. Oh, no. Oh, darn.
She gave up. What gear is this? Is that third?
Let me feel it, because I don't know by looking at it.
This is absolutely foot on the floor.
There we go.
This is the slowest car in history. How? How is this real? Oh, the right turn signal's been on this whole time. First gear is over before you're anywhere near the speed limit. Is that person turning?
Yes.
No signal. They're just gonna...
Well, I mean, you've had your signal on. Are you better?
No, you're right. If I'm in third, I have to be on the gas, which makes this a little bit scary. Oh my God!
Nothing to hold on to.
All right, I am foot on the floor right now. It's pegged. It's about 50 kilometers. It is climbing 51, 52. Of course, that's 30 miles an hour. Oh my God! So now the smoke is just coming into the cabin here because of the wind.
We're gonna die now.
Oh my God!
You left turn signal on? Previously?
Yeah, it was already on. Don't worry about that. The smoke is incredible. The smell of it is constant. This thing is absolutely ridiculous. It's tremendously difficult to drive. It pollutes like crazy. The turn signals don't cancel. There's no tachometer, but it's a hoot. It's a total blast. This is ridiculous. I can't believe I'm driving around in this thing. I love it. I wouldn't get one, but I'm glad that Robert did. And so that was the Trabant. For more of my thoughts on what it was like to drive the crazy Trabant after I've processed all of this, click the link below to check out my column on autotrader.com/oversteer. And now it's time to say goodbye to the Trabant and be thankful that we don't live in communism. And now I'm, oh crap. That's happened before.